The truth about Las Vegas in September 2025 is not what the billboards or glossy travel ads want you to believe. From the outside, the strip still looks eternal. The neon glows, the music thunders, and tourists pose for selfies as if nothing has changed. But behind that facade lies a very different reality, one that reveals cracks in the very foundation of America's entertainment capital. This month alone, a fake Justin Bieber managed to fool one of the Strip's most famous nightclubs. Casinos unveiled a roulette bet so predatory it makes even seasoned gamblers cringe, and city officials quietly committed tens of millions in taxpayer money to keep the Formula One race alive, despite the chaos and outrage it's already caused. At the same time, visitor numbers are shrinking, the housing market is wobbling for the first time in years, and even casino employees are being told they can't wear masks without a doctor's note. These aren't just random stories, they are signs of a deeper shift. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain to expose what's really happening in Las Vegas right now. By the end, you'll understand why insiders are whispering that Sin City will never be the same, and why the city's famous glow may no longer hide the shadows creeping in behind it. On the surface, Las Vegas still looks unstoppable. Tourists walking the Strip in September 2025 will see flashing billboards, bustling sidewalks, and hotel marquees boasting about celebrity residencies and sold-out events. The average visitor notices hotel rooms that are suddenly a little cheaper, restaurants pushing new promotions, and shows that still pack in enough excitement to feel like the old Vegas magic is alive. Formula One banners stretch across the city, reminding everyone that Las Vegas is hosting one of the flashiest sporting events in the world. From a distance, the picture looks healthy, a global city humming with energy, offering experiences that no other destination can match. For the casual traveler snapping photos in front of the Bellagio fountains, it might seem like nothing has really changed. But this is the illusion Las Vegas has always been good at maintaining. When tourists see room rates dipping, they assume it's a lucky break, not a symptom of declining demand. When they hear about the Formula One race, they think of roaring engines and glittering lights, not the public money quietly drained to make it happen. Even a cancelled show like Kelly Clarkson's abrupt exit from her residency gets brushed off as just another bump in the endless cycle of entertainment. To the average visitor, Las Vegas is still a wonderland of neon promises where the spectacle never stops and the city seems immune to real-world problems. This layer of perception is important because it's exactly what keeps tourists coming back. The surface convinces them that Vegas hasn't changed, that it remains the playground it has always been. But once you look past the flashing lights and the polished advertisements, the numbers tell a different story, one that reveals a city under pressure in ways that tourists rarely notice. Beneath the neon glow and the glossy marketing, the truth about Las Vegas in September 2025 is written in numbers that most tourists never see. Visitor traffic, the lifeblood of the city, has slipped to 19.66 million in the first 6 months of the year, a 7% drop compared to 2024. On the surface, those figures still sound enormous, nearly 20 million people crowding the Strip, but in a town that relies on perpetual growth, even a single percentage point decline sends shockwaves through balance sheets. Hotel prices are another warning sign. The average room on the Strip now costs $198 a night, a 5% decrease. Downtown prices have dropped to $99, down 4%. To visitors, it looks like a bargain, but for hotel operators and casino bosses, it's a sign that demand is softening and profits are being shaved off the margins. Gambling, the heartbeat of Las Vegas, tells a similar story. Strip revenues fell to $3 billion, nearly a full percent down from last year. Downtown managed a 0.5% gain, but it's hardly the surge executives want investors to see. At the same time, Boyd Gaming, a company focused on local customers rather than high-spending tourists, posted some of its strongest growth in years. That divide highlights a dangerous trend. Vegas is being propped up more by locals than by international and out-of-state visitors, a reversal of the model that made the city famous. The housing market reveals even more cracks. For more than a decade, Las Vegas real estate seemed untouchable, climbing year after year. Yet by mid-2025, the median home price still hovers at $485,000, while demand has collapsed so sharply that inventory has soared 77% compared to last year. Sellers now face the humiliating reality of cutting prices, covering closing costs, or even offering months of interest-free payments just to move properties. For the first time in over 10 years, buyers have the upper hand. International tourism, long a steady anchor, is faltering as well. Canadian visitors, historically one of the most reliable groups of international tourists, are down 20%. The reason isn't lack of interest, it's economics. Tariffs and a weak Canadian dollar have made a Vegas vacation prohibitively expensive. City officials are scrambling, with locals unlocked a campaign designed to encourage residents of the valley to spend more of their money in town. But locals cannot replace the billions in revenue once generated by international traffic. These numbers form the hidden layer beneath the bright lights, a Las Vegas that is shrinking where it once expanded, losing ground where it once dominated. It's a city that looks unshakable from the outside, but the data tells a story of softening demand, shrinking margins, and rising vulnerability. And if the statistics paint a sobering picture, the scandals and incidents playing out on the Strip show how those cracks are already manifesting in daily life. The real proof that Las Vegas is changing comes not only from data sheets and financial reports, but from the scandals and incidents that made headlines throughout September 2025. Each one on its own might look like a curiosity or a quirky Vegas story, but together they reveal the cracks in the city's glittering armor. The first came in the form of a bizarre spectacle at Wynn's XS nightclub. A man posing as Justin Bieber not only slipped past staff, but actually took the stage performing for a packed house before anyone realized he was a fraud. Videos spread online within hours, turning what was supposed to be a night of glamour into a global embarrassment. Vegas built its brand on celebrity culture, but here was proof that its obsession with star power could be weaponized against it. If security and staff at one of the Strip's most exclusive venues can be fooled, what else is the city overlooking? What was once a funny footnote instead became a metaphor for a city too willing to believe its own hype. Then came the roulette scandal, less flashy, but far more damaging. Caesars quietly introduced a new bet on 00 and 000 wheels, predicting 2 consecutive green spins. The payouts 280 to 1 on 00 and 130 to 1 on 000 sound seductive, but the house edge is a brutal 22%. This is not entertainment, critics argue. It's daylight robbery wrapped in neon. For seasoned travelers, 000 roulette was already a hated addition to the Strip. This new side bet felt like casinos testing just how far they can push naive tourists before the backlash becomes too great. It's another reminder that in modern Las Vegas, innovation doesn't mean more fun, it means more ways to siphon money from the unsuspecting. While tourists debated odds, taxpayers were handed their own unwelcome surprise, a massive new bill to keep the Formula One Grand Prix alive. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority voted to extend the contract through 2027 at a cost of $20 million per year, more than triple the previous deal. Officials insisted the race brings global attention, but small business owners remember weeks of gridlock construction delays and customers who never showed up. Promises of shorter closures this year feel like hollow reassurance to those who lost money last time. For locals, the message is clear: Vegas will gladly trade their comfort for international prestige. Even inside the casinos, changes reminded workers just how disposable they are. Caesars, Wynn, and Encore rolled out new rules banning employees from wearing face masks unless backed by a doctor's note. For guests, the absence of masks might make the experience feel more polished. For employees, it's a rollback of protections that once symbolized safety. In a city still recovering from a pandemic, the decision sent a chilling signal: in Vegas, appearances always outweigh health. And if that wasn't enough to stir frustration, Golden Gate Casino revealed plans to replace human dealers with electronic table games. To management, the decision is a cost-cutting measure. To regulars, it's sacrilege. The live dealer isn't just part of the game, they're part of the Vegas story, providing banter interaction and a human spark that machines can't replicate. Stripping that away feels like stripping away part of the city's identity. These events are not isolated. Together, they paint a picture of a city willing to sacrifice authenticity for profit, safety for optics, and tradition for efficiency. Each headline points to a deeper problem, a Las Vegas that no longer trusts its own formula and is scrambling to reinvent itself in ways that risk alienating the very people who once kept it alive. And while some profit from these changes, others are left carrying the weight, because in Vegas, every shift creates winners and losers. When you peel back the layers of headlines, one question becomes unavoidable: who is actually benefiting from the way Las Vegas is changing, and who is left paying the price? The winners and losers of September 2025 could not be more different. At the top, the mega resorts and city officials appear to be securing their gains. The Formula One deal is the clearest example. Corporate giants along the Strip stand to profit from international attention, higher room bookings during race week, and the prestige of having their properties splashed across global broadcasts. For politicians, the spectacle offers a talking point, proof that Las Vegas is still relevant on the world stage. But the people footing the bill are ordinary taxpayers, many of whom don't attend the race, don't profit from it, and in fact suffer through weeks of road closures that hurt local businesses. The $20 million in annual subsidies may fill the pockets of the few, but it drains the patience of the many. The casinos themselves are split. Companies like Caesars push new gimmicks like the predatory roulette bet because they rely on churning tourists who don't know better. These corporations profit in the short term by squeezing players harder, but in the long term, they risk tarnishing the reputation of the Strip. Meanwhile, Boyd Gaming has emerged as one of the month's biggest winners. By focusing on locals rather than international high rollers, Boyd reported revenue growth and steady profits, even as its Strip counterparts scrambled to slash room rates. Boyd's strategy reveals a shift in power. The Strip may glitter, but the real stability lies with the people who live in Nevada year-round. On the losing side, workers are once again pushed to the margins. The mask ban made it clear that employees' comfort and safety come second to the image management wants to project. Dealers face the looming threat of being replaced by machines, a move that may save casinos money, but strips away jobs and the human charm that once defined the city. The very people who built Vegas into the entertainment capital of the world are now treated as liabilities to be minimized. Then there are the tourists. International visitors from Canada, once a reliable source of steady business, are falling away because of tariffs and currency exchange rates. They lose access to a destination they once considered a second home, while the city loses the billions they spent year after year. Domestic visitors, meanwhile, face more hidden fees, worse odds on games, and the creeping realization that the deals they once bragged about are vanishing. In the middle, locals are asked to fill the gap through campaigns like Locals Unlocked, which push them to spend their money on Strip experiences meant to replace international dollars. Yet for many Valley residents, the Strip has never been their playground. It's a workplace or a nuisance. Asking them to become the financial saviors of Las Vegas feels not only unrealistic, but insulting. The truth is clear. In September 2025, Las Vegas is structured so that a small circle of executives and investors reap the rewards, while workers, residents, and ordinary tourists shoulder the cost. And while that imbalance might keep the lights on for now, it also risks undermining the very loyalty and energy that once made the city unstoppable. To understand just how serious that risk is, we need to zoom out and see the bigger picture, the forces that show why Las Vegas will never be the same again. Seen from a distance, the problems of Las Vegas might look like temporary setbacks, a dip in visitors, a controversial race, a few embarrassing scandals. But when you step back and connect the dots, the bigger picture comes into focus, and it explains why Vegas will never be the same again. This city has always thrived on reinvention, but reinvention came with a promise that no matter what changed, the soul of Las Vegas would remain intact. Today, That promise is slipping away. For decades, Las Vegas had something no other city could match: a combination of affordability, spectacle, and authenticity. Visitors felt they were part of a grand illusion, but one they could trust. The dealers smiled, the shows dazzled, and the odds, even if stacked against you, at least felt fair. Now the illusion itself is fraying. When casinos introduce games like 000 roulette or 22% house edge side bets, they trade the trust of players for a quick win. When Golden Gate talks about replacing human dealers with machines, they strip away the social fabric that made gambling in Vegas different from gambling online. And when corporations and city leaders funnel millions into Formula One while small businesses struggle, the message is clear: the city is serving its image, not its people. This erosion of trust doesn't just hurt the mood of the Strip, it threatens the foundation of the brand. If tourists begin to feel cheated rather than enchanted, they will find alternatives. Macau, with its billionaire high rollers, and Dubai, with its lavish new resorts, are already competing for global attention. Even Atlantic City, once written off, is repositioning itself for value-driven travelers. Las Vegas no longer has a monopoly on spectacle, and the cracks make it vulnerable. At the same time, the social contract inside the city is weakening. Workers who once embodied the hospitality that defined Vegas are being told to remove masks for appearances while facing the looming threat of machines taking their jobs. Locals who were rarely considered the city's backbone in the past are now being asked to prop it up through Locals Unlocked campaigns. Even international tourists, once a steady presence, are falling away because of economics that the city cannot control. Each group that feels neglected is another fracture in the support system that held Las Vegas together. Perhaps the most telling sign is the housing market. For over a decade, Las Vegas real estate symbolized growth and optimism. Now, with inventory up 77% and sellers scrambling to cut prices, the city is watching its own residents lose confidence. Housing may not be as glamorous as casino openings or race sponsorships, but it reveals the deeper health of a city. When people hesitate to buy, when sellers slash to survive, it signals uncertainty about the future. So why will Las Vegas never be the same? Because the shift isn't just economic, it's cultural. It's a city that once prided itself on making the impossible feel possible, now openly showing the limits of its magic. The spectacle remains, but the soul is at risk. Whether through predatory bets, corporate priorities, or the slow erosion of trust, Vegas is teaching the world a truth it never wanted to admit behind the neon. The desert always waits to reclaim what was built on shifting sand. Las Vegas is still glowing, but that glow no longer hides the shadows. The scandals, the shrinking visitor base, the housing cracks, and the cold calculations of corporate policy all tell us the same story: the city has reached a turning point. Vegas has always been a place where the show must go on, where the lights never dim and the music never stops. Yet now it feels like a stage production, running on memory, dazzling on the outside, while the backstage crew struggles to keep the set from collapsing. The truth is that Las Vegas will never be the same, not because it is gone, but because the very essence that made it unique is being traded away piece by piece. Think of the city as a magician who has performed the same trick for too long. The audience still claps, but they've started to notice the wires, the mirrors, the flaws in the illusion. That's where Vegas stands in 2025, still captivating, but no longer invincible. The question is whether it can reinvent itself yet again without losing the trust, the authenticity, and the soul that made it legendary. So now it's your turn. Do you believe Las Vegas is on the edge of decline, or is this just another chapter in its long history of reinvention? Share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your take. And if you want to keep uncovering the hidden truths behind America's most famous city, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Because the story of Las Vegas isn't over, it's just entering a new act, one you won't want to miss.